to June's NEFA Member Spotlight. I am joined today by Dalgaard, CFO of Dynamic. Thanks for joining me, Ann.
Thank you, Jesse.
So for the people who might not be familiar with Dynamic, do you mind just giving a quick introduction, Ann?
Sure. Dynamic, we rent film equipment in the film space. So we rent to other rental houses. We're purely a B2B neutral equipment rental solution for rental houses who support the production houses.
And how long have you been a NEFA? How long has Dynamic been a NEFA member?
Ever since I joined Dynamic about 3 years ago.
Well, that makes sense. Timing is perfect.
Yep. Well, there's some other older NEFA members who may work at Dynamic. That's kind of how I got involved and how I got connected. So.
That's fair. I was always kind of wondering. I'm like, how did she hear about this company? So, I guess just for the people watching this, if they're on the fence about being a NEFA member, or I guess just the general overall value that you get in your previous life of being with a service provider of NEFA to now being a funding source, I guess funding source, right? No,
lessor.
Lessor. I always forget those different buckets. It's like, do you mind just kind of talking about the value of being a NEFA member and that you've seen throughout your career?
Sure. So, for Dynamic, NEFA has been a great resource in finding other service providers. And by having been a NEFA member for many years at the company I was previously with, also being on the board, also sitting on the education committee, and then being co-chair of the fall conference. It's a great resource to find other service providers, get good information, share information, just whether it's in equipment leasing or business in general. These are people that we have worked with, we've been friends with, that we've shared many cocktails with over the years. And so it's just a great way to find good information, correct information from people that we trust.
Thank you for that. And I know another thing I want to talk with you about today is the educational committee for NEFA. I know that's something that's very important to you. I've never been asked to be on the education committee, which makes complete sense. Stick me with the marketing and the other stuff, which is perfectly fine. But
Nice.
Do you mind just kind of talking about the educational committee and,
Sure.
how long you've been on there, some of the upcoming initiatives that you have, who else is on the committee, et cetera?
Sure. So Beth McLean and I started the education committee when she and I were on the board together. 5 years ago. And the purpose of the education committee is really to make the education consistent from conference to conference. It's to vet and make sure that we're providing good content that's needed by the membership. And then it's also to help drive and develop the content to continue the education path. So you have we've got these big lessors and big funding sources that have a lot of different staff. How do we drive that attendance at conferences, at regional events, and help develop that next level of management or that next level of leadership for the equipment leasing industry by providing the right content? And so that's kind of been our goal, our mission. And vision along the way. We've taken on new members, we've lost some members, and the board is very driven on this education committee and helping those initiatives move forward. We are looking at developing a curriculum of information, whether having different segments, but we want to start with credit. Because that seems to be a pretty wide topic, that whether you're a funding source, a lessor, a broker, or a service provider, you can take something away from that curriculum.
Sure.
Starting with, it'll be filmed via webinars and then offered at the regional events and then possibly at the fall conference in pieces. It might be a 3, 4, 5 level piece that develops over time that can be either viewed from the website or in person. And the hope of that is to develop that base of knowledge, to have that information available, to allow the staff or whoever to learn something from it and build their knowledge on that.
No, that's fantastic. And, having, obviously we have the two main conferences a year, right? And those are
Yep.
all driven by educational sessions and everything. But it's okay, what are we doing for the rest of the other 10 months? And how can our members, get them up-to-date information, especially with 1071 coming fast and
1071.
furious on the credit, right? I mean, perfect
Right.
segue into that. Brokers are like, that's not really going to be applicable to me. And it's like, actually, it is.
Well, and it's the same with the disclosures, Jesse, the
Right.
same thing,
Sure.
what needs to be out there? How is this being implemented? How is this information, being shared to the customers? What's the perception at the customer level? And what does that do to your process, your credit process, your sales process, all of those things? So, and stuff's constantly changing as we're seeing. So, we've got new states added to the disclosure law, and potential for that. So what does that look like?
Ugh, stop.
I don't want to know.
It's just California, New York, and we'll just leave it there.
Well,
Leave
I
it
hear there's
there.
more coming. So
Of course. But and now you're the co-chair for the upcoming San
yep,
Antonio conference. So do you want?
exactly.
I know we what do you got? Like 4 months left? Not even really. 3.5. Countdown's
3.5.
on. It's going
Yep,
to go by real fast as someone who's
it
been there, where it's
is.
like, oh, I got plenty of time. No.
I've been on a lot of these planning committees, but just as a member or as a committee member, and not ever been a co-chair. It's really exciting to be a co-chair and help drive decisions and then help keep everybody motivated, because really it's a group effort. It's not the co-chairs who
Sure.
plan the courses, plan what's happening. And the education committee has been very supportive in providing feedback about what the membership wants to hear and what they want to learn about, in order to really develop this conference. So we do have our sessions fairly set, and Kale had sent out an outreach for speakers. And I don't know if you want to talk about those, Jesse, but we're hoping for an AI or a chat GBT session this fall.
Okay.
Broad best practices,
Okay.
collections, portfolio performance in a recession, the credit session, section 1071 session, and an update on state disclosure laws. So, that's what we're focused on. There was an outreach for speakers and looking into that. But we'll see.
Well, you have to let me know how that outreach goes, and if people don't start responding, just let me know. So every now and then, people have to be voluntold. Is that a good word?
Exactly. And that has been one of the biggest problems with the education committee is it's finding people who want to speak and want to volunteer, but it's a great opportunity. It helps you build and develop a network that I think can't be.
It's fantastic. And the challenge that I've always thought, especially in this industry, is it can't be the same people over and over again, because then it's just like, oh, I have to listen to this person again.
Yeah,
And even if it's a different topic, it's like,
exactly. So that's our challenges as education committee members, is finding people who want to
sure.
volunteer and then finding content that people want to hear about. So
Yeah.
it's a balance, and we work through it and we try our hardest.
So who are you co-chairing it with?
Mickey Henkelman from Oakmont.
Okay.
So it's another ladies power team, which is excellent. And
I guess I'm kind of scratching my head. Did I not do a good job as the last male co-chair?
When were you a co-chair? Oh, that was like a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe more than that.
I see you, Chad. I see you.
Chad.
So I guess just in closing here, Anne, if someone's on the fence of becoming a NEFA member, why should someone join the association?
Well, I think why shouldn't you join? I mean, it's a network that you really just cannot get anywhere else. And the friendships that last a lifetime. I think NEFA has done a great job. The board has done a great job of welcoming in new people, trying to find you a buddy at a conference. And really, it's like going back home. It's like going back home, and it's going to a big party that all your friends are at. It's like going to your wedding again. You know, you're seeing people that you haven't seen in years. And there sometimes are people that can't attend and do attend, and it's not the same people every time. And then by having it somewhere else every time is really just makes it exciting and fun to see all your friends and your family again.
Yep. Nail on the head there, Ann. Well, thank you for joining me today, and look forward to seeing you. I'll definitely see you in San Antonio.
Awesome, Jessica. We'll see you in October.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.